Perfect.
Just been to get myself a nice cup of tea. Whoa, my hair's a mess. One sec. That is better. So what's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Jack and this is my channel. In today's video we are doing something completely different, something that's not been done on this channel before. We're doing a Q&A, as you will have seen from the thumbnail, title, all that jazz. So yes, I have here on my telephone a list of questions. There weren't as many as I would have liked, but I suppose we'll have to make do with what we've got. So I think overall we've got there's about 14 questions, but some of them have been duplicated and one of them has actually given me an idea for another video. So, you know, you'll find out what that is when we get to it, I suppose. So we're gonna jump straight in, we're gonna get on with it. First question, and this was from a friend of mine, and the question was actually quite rude. So I'm not going to say it exactly as he wrote it and asked me it, but we'll do it like a nice sort of PG type question. So when are you going to finish the car? This is, like I say, it's from a friend of mine, Cobbett, and that was a nice way of putting it because he asked very, very rudely. There's no need for that, Martin. No. I get asked this question a lot. When people first started asking, I would give them a genuine answer, like a rough idea. Now I'm more liable to take the piss with it. So, Martin, or Cobbett, I'm going to get my friggin' crystal ball out and have a quick look. And the crystal ball says, no idea. So, yeah, no idea. My plan is to get it done this year. It needs to be done this year. Because it's been far too long now and it's really starting to piss me off. So this year, basically. Question 2, do you have a colour scheme planned? Yes, I do. I'm actually part of a drift team called Style Zero and we've come up with a colour scheme for the cars. Originally it was going to be BMW Atlantis Blue, I think. I'll put a picture in the video so you can see what I'm on about. And basically what I mean, because I don't think it was Atlantis Blue, but I can't remember. But yeah, basically that blue, and then we're gonna have like crazy coloured wheels and crazy coloured this and blah. It was gonna be way too expensive anyway. So we decided against that, and we've now decided to go with a different colour, of which we will be telling in another video. So I can't really tell you yet. It's not a secret, but we're gonna save it for another video. What are your overall plans? Well, when I first started this build, it was all about basically building a competition car. We rewind back to 2016, I do believe, and basically I'd bought the car that I have now, the S14. I'd done a round at the Retro Drift Series, but I was doing it as part of the Forces Drift Series. So this is back when I was in the army and I decided that I wanted to do drifting in a competition layout style type thing. So I applied for Forces Drift Series and went down to Norfolk Arena where they were holding one of their events with RDC. Yeah, it's RDC, sorry. So I went down there and at the time my car wasn't caged or anything like that, but we were still allowed to run with the RDC guys and basically just have a bit of an outing and see what it's all about. So that gave me a bit of a bug then to go back and start really sort of working on my driving and working on the car as well. So in like April 2017 I decided to start ripping the car apart and it was basically getting built for a competition car. Fast forward to like last year? No, 2018 it will be. Like towards the end of 2018 I decided I don't want to do that anymore and the car is now going to be built for fun, really. Just a fun car, just a skid car, a drift car. The overall plan for the car is to go out and skid it and have a laugh with my mates, but we'll see. So a good couple of questions here. Why that engine? Well, basically when I decided this was going to be a competition car, I thought, right, I'm going to need some power. So the S14 came out, it was just bone stock, completely standard. Even the exhaust was like half standard, it was shit. It was bad. So I took the SR out, that got sold on, and I bought a GS300. And if you know anything about GS300s, you'll know they've got a 2JZ. And my plan was to basically take that 2JZ, chuck it into the S14 and build a turbo 2J out of it. When I bought this GS300, I bought it on eBay, sold unseen basically. So I went down and I picked the car up with my trailer, chucked it on the trailer. It was dark, it was pitch black, middle of nowhere, middle of the night. So the next day, went up to the unit where my car was, and I had a proper look around this Lexus, and I was shocked. It was so clean. I think I paid about £300 or £400, if that. It had no MOT, but when I saw the car, it was absolutely pristine. There was nothing wrong with it. So I decided, well, we'll chuck a test on it, and I'll basically, when I'm ready to do the engine stuff, I'll take the engine out then. So I put an MOT on it and started using the car. Down the line I decided it'd be a good idea to just sell the car and make a bit of profit. So I ended up selling the GS300 and I spent all the money. So I was looking for an engine and I had no idea what I was going to do because I had no money. So what I ended up doing was browsing the internet for ideas. I was actually watching Monkey London one night. Right there was where I got my idea for the engine. He was doing a review on a lad, what's his name? I think his name was George, a lad called George, and his MX-5. And he'd actually, him and his dad I think, had put this B234 engine into his MX-5, and it was a little ripper. Like, this thing, it moved. So I did a little bit more research on it. I actually found his build thread and everything on Driftworks and had a good look over it. And I thought, you know what? That sounds like a right good idea, because why wouldn't you? So I went out and I started scrolling through the internet and I found myself a Saab engine. And at the time I knew nothing about them, I didn't do my research properly and I bought the wrong engine. So I ended up buying a B235, but it came with the rest of everything that I needed, like the gearbox, flywheel, clutch, all of that good stuff. I attempted to lower the engine into the engine bay and quickly found out that it definitely wasn't going to work. And that engine soon got sold. I went away, bought another engine, the right engine, the B204 engine, and basically that was how that happened. And the only reason it happened was because the Saab engine is so cheap, and I'd done enough research to find out that they are fairly reliable, probably just as reliable as an SR20, if not a little bit better, I'd say. I don't know. Those are my two main reasons, affordability and reliability. Although now, I've probably spent more money putting the Saab engine into the S14 than it would have cost to fit the 2J into the S14 with a turbo. Anywho, why that chassis? This does go back quite a bit. I was 19 years old, so it would be 2009, roughly 2009. I had a Honda Civic. The car before that was a Seat Beefer and I'd been crashed into. I was waiting for my payout check. Payout check came, sold the Civic. First thing I went and did was go and buy an S13 because I've been watching Tokyo Drift. But ever since buying that first S chassis, I was hooked. It had coilovers, welded diff. I think the boost had been turned up on the engine, so it wasn't really safe. I think it had an R32 bucket seat in. It was basically a low-level setup for a bit of street drifting, maybe, you know, whatever. That was my first taste of an S chassis, and I absolutely loved it. Over the years, I had more cars. I had more Civics, I had a Supra, an Evo, another, what, 2 S chassis. I've had numerous S chassis now. I think I've had about 5 altogether. Hands down, like, they are one of the best cars I've ever owned. Like, I'm a JDM Jap car fanatic. I love Jap cars. I don't want to drive anything else, and I'm not really bothered by anything else when it comes to modified cars. Japanese cars are the be all and end all in my case. Like, my own opinion, yeah, Jap cars. I think 200SXs really are the best platform for drifting, but I just love how well balanced they are, how set up they are, and just the look of them as well. When you put a little bit of time and effort into an S chassis, they just look absolutely beautiful. And there's no other chassis out there for me really. It's definitely an S chassis. It's got to be. So that is why I chose this chassis. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of an S14 Zenki. I never thought I'd own one really, but this thing came along and it was just beautiful. I just couldn't not have it, you know, so that's how I ended up with it. What got me into drifting? Whoa, no idea. And honestly, I don't know why you'd want to get into drifting. It's the most expensive, most ridiculous motorsport there is. Well, it's not the most expensive obviously, but you know, grassroots level, it's bloody stupid. So, like I mentioned before, I bought my first S13 when I was about 19. I've been watching a lot of Fast and Furious, as you do. I watched Tokyo Drift, and at the time when I first saw Tokyo Drift, I had a Honda Civic EG. It was all like fast car style with all the bumpers and Fast and Furious style bumpers, crazy paint. It was loud and obnoxious with a 1.5 single point injection engine. She'd fly. Yeah, it was slow. Anyway, I started skidding around with that on the handbrake, you know, like thinking I was like Colin McRae or something, you know, yeah. And that's like, I really enjoyed that, like the adrenaline rush you get from doing that, sliding the car around a corner with a handbrake. It was absolutely fantastic. I get to the point where I finally have a rear-wheel drive car. I started off doing a little bit of like skidding out of a junction, you know, flicking it on a corner there, just giving it a little bit on a roundabout. That was like my first taste of like skidding a rear-wheel drive car, sort of. I didn't really go too far with it, with that car, but that was definitely the first sort of feeling or first experience I had with drifting. The main thing that got me into drifting was watching Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, buying my first S chassis, and that was pretty much it. But my first proper drifting didn't really start until I was like, yeah, a lot older. Future plans with the S14. So we briefly touched on this with like overall plans and stuff. So future plans is basically to get the car finished, get the car usable, get it skidding, and just enjoy it, have some fun. Yeah, future plans, get it running, get it driving, get it skinned again, and go out and enjoy the car, have some fun. So that's what it's all about. Good beginner skid car. Now, if you remember back to Teesside New Year's Eve drift, there is a video which I'll put a link for in the description below. We went with Jay did this, and this is actually Jay's question. He wants to know what is a good beginner skid car. And I think he wants to know that because of this. We went to Teesside, he came along and I took him out for a ride, and this was his reaction.
Nice! That was a lot better! Nice. That was a lot better! Oh my god, fuck it! Now I want a drift car!
So Jay, to answer your question, I would say, now, in this day and age, because you can't get an S chassis for 1200 quid like I did when I first started out, the best thing you could possibly buy, best bang for buck right now is either an E36 or an E46, hands down. If I had my time again now, I would probably buy, I think I'd probably go with an E46 to be honest. I don't know why, but I think E36 is now just like overdone and they're quite expensive now as well. But the E46 compact I had, it was a 2.5 I do believe. HSDs, basically all the bushes were solid. And it ran standard BMW wheels, bucket seats, harnesses, strengthened in a few places. It was a fantastic car, absolutely loved driving that car. It was very, very planted, the response was absolutely perfect, and I had buckets of fun in that car on New Year's Eve. It was fabulous. So Jay, to answer your question, I would probably go with something along the lines of BMW E46 or an E36, whatever you like. Coilovers, welded diff, bucket seat, hydro handbrake. Rip as much out of it as you can, save some weight. That's probably it. You don't even need an exhaust on it. You don't need a filter on it. Like mine had the standard air filter, like airbox, and it had a straight through 3-inch from the manifolds back to the standard back box. So it wasn't loud and obnoxious. Fantastic. Oh, now this is a fairly good one. Minus the whole Corona thing, when will we see the S14 sideways? Well, I was hoping to have it done by May. You probably won't know, but I was due to get married at the end of May this year. and obviously with Corona and everything, that is no longer happening. But I was going to be using my S14 to drive to the church, so that was my deadline really, getting it done for the middle of May. Running, driving, and get it painted and make sure the car was ready for the end of May. Now obviously plans have changed. Parts are quite hard to get hold of because people aren't really working and shipping and all that crap. The S14 will be sideways at some point this year. I can't give you an exact date, unfortunately. I'd love to be able to, but unfortunately this year is the best I can do. I am hoping to try and get it drifting in summer, just so like good weather, fresh car and everything like that. But we'll just have to wait and see, play it by ear really. Now this is the question that we're going to be just like taking out and doing a separate video on because it is going to be long. How many cars have you owned? Can you list them? Yes, I can list them, and the list is long. I think in my 10, 11, 12, about 12 years of driving, it'll be 12 years this May, I will have owned like nearly 40 cars. We'll do another video on that. Very soon. Again, expected completion date this year. Now, Ben Morehouse, another one of the Style Zero guys. I'll put his stuff in the description below. He's a cool guy, and he's also a very funny guy, or he likes to think he's funny anyway. He says he's my biggest fan, so cheers for that, Ben. Really appreciate that, mate. And he's also wanting to know how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a wood, I don't know. I can't even say it, Ben. Right? Just fuck off. The last question, and it's a good last question. If you could build or own any car, what would it be? Any engine, any chassis? Good question. I have thought about this before. I've run through this in my head a few times, and I think pretty much every time I come back to the same answer, like regardless. So like if funding was not an issue and I had all the tools in the world and you could literally have anything you wanted, what would it be? Well, it'd have to be an S chassis, wouldn't it? So it'd either be a PS13, an S13 or 180SX, or an S14A. One of those three would be ideal. I've had the PS13, I've had the 14A, and I've had a 13 before. I've had them all in the past, and they all were brilliant cars. I never got the chance to use an S13 on the track, unfortunately, but for what I can say for the PS13 and the S14A, fantastic. Absolutely loved those cars. The way that they performed, brilliant. So definitely one of those two. Well, sorry, one of those three. The engine. This is a tricky one because there's so many different options out there now, and you've got like 1J, 2J, VQ engines are now becoming more popular, like the GTR engines, SRs, you know, Saab engines. Loads of different options out there for an S chassis, like V8s and everything like that. I mean, personally, I would never put a V8 into an S chassis, just not my thing. So I think if I could have any engine, any setup that I wanted, I'd probably go with an SR, but it'd be a fully built SR, something that was really reliable. I'd only feed it like 350 horsepower, put a BMW box on the back of it or something like that, and just have it running nice and reliable, but with some good power, good response all the time. So like 350 to 400 would be ideal, I think, and like that good drivetrain setup as well. Like, yeah, something along those lines. So that has been the Q&A, quite short, not a lot of questions. So next time it goes up for you guys that are watching and you don't have me on Instagram, check the link below in the description for my Instagram and go and answer some questions, because we will be doing this again during the lockdown period. Next video is going to be doing the car history one. So if you watch Monkey London, he did one recently, basically going through his car past and his history and everything. We'll be slightly like that. We'll just do a little bit of a rundown on the cars I've had, try and chuck some pictures in of what I've got. And some videos where possible, and we'll just have some fun with it, because I want to get that question answered. It's a really good question. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this Q&A session today. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe on the video. Share it around, do all of that good stuff. Share the channel, let's get it out there. It's just got over 200 subs, which is really, really good. Well happy about that, and it's still climbing. So yeah, let's try and push the channel out, get some more subscribers. Anyway, for now, I am shooting off, so make sure to stay tuned because the next video should be out sometime this week. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.